Farmman Official here, and I'm joined by Snoopa again. So this is going to be a great video. Yeah, we're going to learn a lot, I can tell you that much. Now, if you have been enjoying this series, do give the video a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel and gives me a good idea that you guys are actually finding this useful. Just like with episode 1, do drop a comment in the comment section below about one thing you've learned, and it just means that we can all read through the comments and just figure out, oh, maybe I can do that better as well. Alright, so let's get straight into the video. Alright, so Snoopa, we're up against the English. The map is Highview. And it's going to be an interesting start. I suspect, playing against the English, you should expect them to go Council Hall. And because of that, I'm going to plan to open up a stable. And we'll take it from there, I guess.
Yeah, that's generally what I do as well. I definitely always open stable against English. In case there's the off chance that the English don't add in pikes early and you can get a good catch on the early push here.
Yeah.
I find, in this matchup in particular, I think it's one of the most snowbally matchups in the game right now. Like, if you don't stop the English from massing up their longbows and pikes, then you can be in a bit of trouble. And same goes for the English. Like, if they lose one fight, it's pretty much over for them as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think just as I normally would, I'll definitely going for efficient production from the mosque, and I think to maybe just supervise that stable to start off with, just make sure we don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, for sure. I think also one of the things that you should keep in mind when it comes to Highview is that you want to kind of be securing that sacred site on your side as early as you can. So even if that means like sending a few units down there, pre-walling that segment and that sacred site, sorry, and then securing it with a scholar after you've completely walled it.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially with the context of the build order that I'm doing, because I tend to do get 3 on gold, but I actually take those villagers off of gold once I can afford the 3rd scholar, and they go straight to wood, so I just focus on the food and wood after that. And so that gold income could actually, well, it would actually be really, really important to have.
Yeah.
I might review the build order, but it's just something I'm used to so far, so hopefully I'll get a reviewer outfit and see if there's anything I can do better for it.
Yeah, I think generally as Delhi, if you don't have a sacred site under your control, you do want to keep 2 vills on gold just to keep your scholar production.
Yeah.
Because say you go to secure mid with like 2 scholars or something like that and you lose them, then you only have 1 backup.
Yeah.
Right? And it's inconvenient to start gathering again and training. You just fall behind on the scholar count. It's always just better to have more as the game progresses.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So you might want to just remove some of those vills from queue. I think you nearly have the res to age here.
I go to wood, and I need to build that mosque. So usually, yeah, I'm a bit 10 and 1 drop off too slow for that mosque.
Yeah, I think, and maybe I can like run you through this build as well later. I think getting the mosque earlier is really nice, just so you don't have to delay your sanctity in order to have your efficient production.
Okay, would you go to the straggler and get the mosque down early?
No, so the way I do it is I put 3 vills on wood quite early on. And then as soon as I have, I build the mosque straight away, and then as soon as I have 50 wood from chopping, I send those vills across to gold.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That extra vill I'm putting on gold actually could be going on wood and then getting the mosque earlier.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Like, the thing about having 3 on gold right now is that you're banking gold for not much reason right now.
Yeah.
You can't start training scholars until you're age 2 anyway. So there's not really much benefit of gathering that. Rather, you could get a military building a little bit earlier if you had it on wood instead.
Yep. Yeah. As soon as this goes up, I'll move those vills. So our sacred site is here. There's one in the middle, of course, and one on their side. Just looking out for relics as well. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. So it's pretty evenly spread.
Yeah. And it's right about now that you want to be having your scout across on his side of the map. I know that might be just because we're having conversation, you kind of
Oh yeah.
something not concentrate on, but it's definitely worth having him across, especially on this map with all the stealth forest.
Yeah.
You can see exactly what he's doing, and he might not even know that you can see it.
There's wood lines there, so I'll keep a scout there and scout there.
Yeah, I would even put that second scout in the stealth forest, just on the outskirts. Just so he doesn't know that you've actually got information on that side as well.
Oh, there's
Okay,
one
he's
there.
opened racks as well.
Just realised I queued the scholars from the mosque and not the Dome of the Faith, so I'm a bit delayed and that's
Oh.
kind of annoying. So it shouldn't hopefully be too bad. He says. Oop, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but not ideal either.
Yeah, as long as we get, let's go back to food now and think about getting a.
So, something that I would do as soon as you see that the barracks is down from your opponent, I would immediately go, okay, I'm gonna need archers to kill the pikes so that my horsemen can connect to the longbows. So generally I prioritize the 2 military buildings and then the blacksmith,
Yep. Oh, okay.
so that the longbows can't get free harass on your villages.
I'm thinking I'll drop a tower here.
Yeah, I think kind of necessary right now. I mean, there's two options. You can drop the tower or you can just go over to the other wood line. But I think because you don't have an archery range right now, a tower's quite necessary.
Yeah, I should build the archery range back.
Yeah. Yeah, putting it back for sure so that longbows aren't in range. And also I'd build it second over the blacksmith.
Yep. Shorten wood, so we've got plenty of
Yep.
villagers queued up, so we can just optimize that a bit better, I think.
And another thing as well against English, similar to French with the early aggression, it's worth getting the villager HP as well quite early on.
Ah, yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna need, I think from now, you should prioritize archer production over horse.
Yep.
But if you can produce both, then do that. And I'd begin to get your blacksmith queues in tech, your techs in queue when you can. Yeah, perfect. Just for people watching, I guess, when you're coming up against an archer civ, I'd always prioritize archer defense over anything else. Even if you are going mostly archers, your archer defense will work on more than just your archers, it's everything that the longbows attack. So good choice here from Farman for sure.
Yeah, it's not a great start for me here.
A little bit rough, yeah. So, yeah. Right now, I probably wouldn't be taking a fight. You don't have the numbers, and this is what I mean by the snowbally kind of matchup. If you take little trades like this, it's just going to get worse and worse for you over time. So you need to just wait until you have a mass where you know you can compete with his army, and then try and fight. So whether that means abandoning the wood line like you're doing right now, just to buy a little bit of time, it's definitely worthwhile.
Okay.
Another thing as well you could consider doing, like when you're taking trades like this, you can bring your army back, pop out a scholar from your mosque, and you can heal your guys up as well. I don't know how many low health you have right now, but just in general, it's always nice.
Yeah, it's just no need now.
I think you have some units. Oh, you got horsemen, okay.
It's probably getting rounds around about now, so I think we need to focus a bit more on just... okay, towering that somewhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, perfect. It's exactly what I was about to say. Preemptively put a tower there so he can't get on your wood line.
Yeah, that'd be annoying if he does. That'd be too much over, probably.
So one thing as well you can think about right now that we were talking about before is you can use your scout to go see if he's camping that bottom sacred site.
Yeah. Yep.
And if he's not camping it, you can go sneak like an archer there, start building walls if you had the res. Although it's kind of a bit of a struggle right now for wood.
Garrison, garrison. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of, hopefully. Yeah, I need to deny that tower.
Yeah, I think you actually have the army size to take him down here. And from this position, like our goal needs to be take one good fight and then secure the sacreds and try and age up as soon as possible. Obviously his eco's in a better spot, so we can't continuously fight him for in age 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, once your other units are there, go in and attack. Just wait for those other units to arrive. Yep, there's only 2 pikes there, so now's the time.
I'm gonna dive on that bill.
Yep. Perfect, this is the fight you need. Make sure all your units are coming as well, you got some at home.
I feel like I could siege that down.
Yeah. I think that's okay. Watch out for the pike though, there's a pike killing your horsemen.
Oh, snap. Would you pull bills to... oh my god, these aren't working. Would you pull bills to kill that tower, or not really?
Not anymore.
No.
So you just need to back off, go secure that sacred site. I think you'll lose all your units there if you try and siege that down, unless you bring scholars and heal your guys up while you do it.
I probably should siege
Yeah.
that one though. Just
Yeah,
in case he
and
sends
just
something.
go wall that sacred site and then regroup.
So he's getting these free hits on my units here. It's very annoying.
Yeah, you need to kind of make sure you're regrouping behind your base so you're not in line of fire, especially against like the unit like a longbow.
I've just got so much.
Yeah, this is pretty rough. I think you should just back out here. Heal up. Watch out for your vills as well. Is there another wood line you can go to or not really?
Not really. I think
Yeah,
I
this
have
is definitely a rough position.
to, probably could even call it.
What's your vill count at right now?
33. I think he's got a lot.
Would you-
value.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we could GG next this one.
I think so. Up to you though. We can play it out and see how you go. And oh, it's too late.
Yeah, I think it's just the couple of things like getting the arch range first instead of the blacksmith, and then just not scouting that first tower as well. That kind of hurt
Yeah.
quite a bit. I feel like a lot of tower rushes, well, it wasn't necessarily a tower rush, but a lot of tower rushes, if you don't stop the first one, it just, especially with the Ignis bonus, it's actually quite tough because his units are just that much more stronger now.
I think, yeah, so there was a few things. I think in the early game, like one of the things that you just mentioned is that the scouting wasn't quite up to where it needed to be.
Yeah.
Like, I think your two scouts were just in your base for quite a while there. They
Yeah.
needed to be like, as you start aging, you need to think about moving your scouts across to your opponent's side because you know that he's going to be aging at a similar time. And I think by the time you got to his base, you saw like two of his units just standing still and didn't have the information that his other units had already moved across the map and he was building a tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was like definitely one of the first kind of hiccups in this game. And then the next one I'd say is, especially against English, you really shouldn't be taking a fight until you know you can win one. Like, I think our first engagement, we lost quite a few units for free or heavily damaged units. And then from there, it just became really hard to compete with the army.
Yeah, it's interesting in the game how like you just one bad fight it's just really quite hard to recover from that, especially when they're being so aggro because it just snowballs, isn't it? So
Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, as mentioned, this matchup is very snowbally, like from both sides.
Yeah. All right. Well, we learn from our losses, and I think I think the English rush like that is it's quite a good strategy to come against to try and learn from because it's quite a common thing as well. It's quite commonly picked civ,
Yeah,
quite a commonly picked strategy. So yeah, lots of learning points there.
some people like this, some people don't, and I personally don't. But I know a lot of people like to just tower in front of their initial exposed resource. So say you had like a berry bush out front, or you had, for example, in your case, you had two of your wood lines out front. You can preemptively like tower before he even like gets across to your side and garrison your first units in there just to make sure he's not getting that tower up within range of your wood line or berries or whatever it is that's exposed out the front.
Yeah, I've seen that being done quite common. I quite like the idea of that actually. I think in our case we had the two wood lines. Like I feel
Yeah,
maybe once so he got the first tower up, and then I kind of didn't necessarily react to that well. I think maybe possibly that little crevice in between the two wood lines. I could have
yeah,
thought maybe my thought pattern should have been, all right, so he's got one tower up. He's blatantly not going to stop at one. So where is he going
yeah,
to put his next one? Let's try and put one
yeah,
there. And I didn't do that for the second tower he got. I did for the third one, but I already had to move away from that first wood line. So it just meant that that 100
yeah,
wood I spent on my tower could have been well spent if I did it a bit earlier in that little crevice between the two wood lines, perhaps.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great point.
it's a good idea. Yeah, but yeah, thanks, Snooper. And anything else you wanted to add for that last game? Because there's quite a lot going on there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's one thing I think that is probably the biggest when it comes to say mid elo, and like low elo as well, especially. But it comes down to scouting and making adjustments based on the information you have, and making sure that your scouts going across as they're aging to know what they're doing is probably like one of the biggest things that's missing when it comes to like the lower side of things and even mid, and sometimes even I'm guilty of it as well, and it can often lose me games. So that's just like one of the biggest priorities in all of my games is scouting and using that information.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree because I know that for me that's actually one of my weaknesses as well. I think if you guys have seen the first episode, there was a point where we were kind of going into his base and we noticed that he had gone for the barracks when we were playing against the French. We were Delhi, and we thought, okay, well that tells us he's going for a pike switch, and that immediately made us think about, Snooper asked the question, well, what kind of army composition would you get here? And then we discussed it, and Snooper mentioned that actually an ideal situation would be getting man at arms, and having that intel like could have changed. Like not having the intel could have completely changed the game, and having that tech switch at a timely manner, like getting that scouting done early, and then the quicker you get the scouting done, the quicker you can get the tech switch in. And yeah, I think that made a big difference even in that game. So yeah, I think that shows
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
difference between this game and the first episode, how the scouting actually made a pretty big difference.
Yeah, and especially on this map, Highview, with all the, the forest area that you can't see through, getting that information is crucial.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's actually really good to look at the games, especially having that continuity with the coaching. I can actually even talk about the last games and actually make some
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Alrighty, dude. Yeah, thanks as always, and I'm sure hopefully we'll be having another episode soon, and I definitely look forward to it. If you guys have been watching on YouTube, hope you did enjoy it, and do give the video a thumbs up. It really lets us know that you like the series, and also make sure that if you're interested in 1v1 coaching with Snoopa, make sure you send him a message on Discord, and I'm sure he'll be glad to give you all the details. But yeah, appreciate you guys hopping in, and see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.